this is David Stark from WatcherPass.com, your website for movie reviews, interviews, and recommendations. Today I'm joined by Jeffrey A. Brown, the writer and director of The Beach House, an all-new horror film that reminds us why it might not be that great to go outside right now. We're going to talk to Jeffrey in just a second, but first let's check out that trailer, and while you're watching, if you could like and subscribe to this channel, that would be fantastic. It helps me out a lot. Thank you.
When you see someone change in front of you, and you know there's no going back, it scares me to death.
No one's been here in months.
It's beautiful.
I love you, you know.
I love you too.
Does anyone need a refill?
Yes, please. Have you seen this out here before? It's in the trees.
It's all over. Something in the air.
I felt a little lightheaded before.
It would feel good.
What is going on?
I don't know. Something from the water.
I can feel it inside.
Don't be scared. Don't be scared.
Well, thank you so much for joining me. I know you've had a kind of a whirlwind of interviews, so I'm happy to close it out with you.
I'm a talker, so and you know, when you've devoted several years to a project, I will talk about it until, you know, I can talk about it for hours. So
that's perfect. Well, we'll take that for a second round after this one. I would love to hear it.
Cool.
So the film is being released in a couple weeks on digital and physical discs. It came out earlier this year on Shudder. So I guess, you know, how did you go about having this film being released kind of during the height of the pandemic almost, and then now kind of towards the Christmas season? How did this film kind of go about getting that kind of a release?
The film, I was aware that Shudder was, when we premiered at the Brooklyn Horror Film Festival back in October of 2019, that was when I knew Shudder was, going to distribute it. I was thrilled. I loved Shudder. I love the movies that they put out. It was really kind of an honor to me to be included with, you know, films like Mandy and Revenge, which I really, really liked. And I was kind of over the moon that they felt the film was, you know, worthy of their channel. So I knew it was coming out in the summer. I didn't really know when. I thought it was going to come out in May, and then it came out in July. And with the pandemic, it was, you know, the appropriateness of it to come out at that time was really kind of spooky. You know, it was not written with a pandemic in mind, obviously, or shot with it in mind, or edited. Anything with that is just, I chalk it up to an unhappy accident, because I would much rather have, you know, everyone be healthy and you know, alive than the film being appropriate to the time it's released in. But that was just kind of how it worked out. And the film, to me, was pandemics are more, you know, with climate change. The film is really a metaphor for climate change in a lot of ways. And so that is something that kind of plays into climate change afflicting the planet. And so I think it's just more or less like, you know, not common sense is the wrong word, but it's just, if you're kind of paying attention to that sort of thing, it makes sense. I mean, there are documentaries that were about pandemics before the pandemic came out, you know, films like Contagion and Outbreak. So it was something in the ether, and science fiction definitely has been dealing with it. The Andromeda Strain is a very excellent movie from the 70s, and, you know, Michael Crichton wrote it, but that was dealing with this sort of thing, kind of blending aliens and epidemics. The Stand, of course, and you know, J.G. Ballard wrote his apocalyptic books back in the 60s, and those were kind of a lot of the inspiration for the film. Just comes from, you know, the history of science fiction.
Well, I think the release schedule is actually kind of perfect, because, you know, and when it came out in the summer, it's like, oh, I kind of miss being outside. Oh, wait, never mind, no, I don't. And now it looks like we're about to head into a lockdown again, you know, as we kind of get to hopefully final stretch. It just reminds me that, you know, maybe it's fine to stay indoors. So I think I think
it's like, do you really want to go swimming? Do you?
Yeah. So it sounds, I heard some of the inspirations, but I guess, you know, were there any other inspirations? Was it just, you know, to get a paid beach vacation? Because that site, aside from, you know, what happens later, it looked amazing. It looked like a fantastic place to shoot.
Yeah, actually the weather was not very friendly when we shot. We needed, I think we shot 18 days, and our math, we needed, I think, 4 days of sun, and I think we got 4 or maybe even 3. And the design of the film was to be flexible. I've worked on a lot of movies, and kind of when you see movies, the structure of a film should be pliable or like rubber or taffy, not crystalline. Like if it's crystalline and something breaks, then the whole thing kind of falls apart. Mm-hmm. And I knew that's not the best way to approach a low budget film. So, we were flexible because not only was it, sunny days, but also it couldn't be raining. We were dealing with smoke machines, and if it's over 3 miles an hour of wind, the smoke will not hold. And even then it's hard for it to stay in one place. Somebody, the writer who you're speaking with right now is kicking himself for thinking, oh, let's write a foggy movie in one of the windiest places in the country. Great idea.
I was gonna say, yeah, a beach seems like the worst place to try to get 3 mile per hour winds.
It is. It really is. It was not a good idea. There was like one day in prep where they had natural fog, and it was like beautiful, and I was like, and that was something else where it's like if we have one day of perfect fog, we have to be able to shoot the fog scenes, but we never got it when we were shooting. There was never a foggy day. And also the tides, there's a scene, not to give anything away to your listeners, but there's a scene involving people going into the ocean. Yep. And the tides in Cape Cod where we shot are very severe. They're some of the most severe in the world. So our locations team timed out the tides. And so when we shot the film, we really had a very small window to get the right depth of the water to do our scene. And so when we were shooting it that day, our AD knew exactly what time we had to be shooting in the water. And he was like, we got to go. We got to get him in the water now, because if we don't, it'll be too deep, and then we won't be able to get the effect that we wanted. So it was, as much as I wanted to be flexible, there was a lot of fragility to making the movie. And I think, again, I'm very proud of the fact that it looks so seamless, because it was not.
Yeah. No, this
sorry to interrupt. We have about 3 minutes left.
Okay. Oh, okay. This was it seemed like a perfect setup. There's one more quick question, and I'll move into, I call it the lightning round. It's just really short questions. I'll try to get as many as I can before your time is up. Okay. So it seems like much of the story seems a little unexplained. I wonder if that's partly by design, partly just the realities of indie filmmaking. Is that by choice? Are there other cuts that maybe have, some more scenes that kind of explain everything that's going on? Or do you really just kind of want it to be less kind of open for mystery? I kind of think it's the latter, but I'm not sure.
Yeah. I mean, I gotta be honest, I wanted to be more mysterious. I think when I was doing it, we gave the audience even less. Like, there are some things where they do tend to explain what's going on, and I think if I had my druthers, I wouldn't explain any of it. As a viewer, I don't need, I'm not looking for that sort of thing. I mean, there are movies that do it. It's a different film than what we were making, but also knowing that we were, typically in the third act in Contagion type movies, the army comes in and isolates everybody, like in the remake of The Blob. Yep. They come in and they literally tell the audience what's going on. And I knew we were never going to be able to afford the army. So, I think that I wanted it to be mysterious. And I do think that there are enough clues that if you watch it a second or third time, you should really be watching it 4 or 5 times, to be honest with you. But, I think all the pieces, I'm just kidding. All the pieces are there, for you to kind of piece together what's going on without having, someone necessarily explain it. I mean, if you watch it, there are some voices that people hear that do say, what's going on. But, also some of the things that the Emily character talks about in terms of astrobiology and science, if you do a little digging on that front, I think it'll explain the movie even more. I think you'll be like, oh, wow, okay, that makes perfect sense. In terms of what, the atmosphere of the early Earth is like, or the atmosphere of Venus. Venus is kind of the planet of the movie in a weird way. There's a shot of the painting, The Birth of Venus, early in the film, and later they literally experience what, in my mind, what the early Earth environment would be like, which was similar to what, a sulfuric environment, which is like if you're on the surface of Venus, that would be like. I mean, it's much hotter, so no one could do it. But that was something that I'd wanted to see as a film goer. I wanted to see visual representations of early Earth or of microbiology in ways that aren't just images of microscopes. How can we do it from an expressionistic standpoint to express these kind of scientific concepts in ways that I hadn't seen before?
Very cool. All right, so I think I probably only have time for a couple questions, but let's see.
Lightning round.
Lightning round. Where is your ideal beach vacation?
Maybe Jamaica.
Excellent.
I don't know. Something like that. An island somewhere. Hawaii. I've never been to Hawaii. I would love to go to Hawaii. So that would definitely be a beach vacation.
Perfect. Where would you go to clear your head and work or write or work on yourself?
Well, I write in my apartment. I think I worked out of the Catskills this year and in 2018. I think that's also a pretty good place to write. It's pretty quiet up there. So either Astoria, Queens, or the Catskills.
Perfect. Have you ever stepped on a jellyfish or other painful beach animal?
I have not, but the jellyfish was more about swimming and seeing a jellyfish nearby and being like, man, that's horrifying.
That scene was horrifying. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
Are you a drill master?
Yes.
Excellent. And I guess, have you ever gone into a hotel room / location and found someone there you weren't expecting?
Gone into a hotel room and found someone I wasn't expecting?
Yeah.
Not really, like a dead body, or like,
or like the hotel just messed up and booked your room, double booked your room, or who knows?
Oh, no, not really. Let me think about that. I gotta think if there was something along those lines. I mean, I definitely had experiences of going to like a VRBO that hasn't been cleaned by accident or something like that, but not where there's somebody actually there. And then, of course, I'm going to say that, get off the phone with you, and be like, oh, no, actually, there was a time where I went somewhere, but I can't think of it right now.
Well, we'll save that for our next 2-hour deep dive. And, now that the film is coming out on physical and digital, what's next for you? Do you have any other projects in the works or any other things you have planned?
Yeah, I write a lot, so I've got some scripts that I've been working on, and we're hopefully getting close on film number 2. I don't want to jinx it, but, it feels like it's close, but you never, until it's day one of shooting, it's like, they can always, they come close and they fall apart, and it can be really heartbreaking. So I kind of, it's a defense mechanism. I don't put too much faith until it's actually happening. But yeah, we're hoping to get you another film sooner than later.
Can't wait. This was quite a debut, so I'm excited to see what comes out of that head next.
Yeah, it's going to be disturbing. I'll just put it that way.
That's fine. That makes it more exciting. Well, thank you so much for your time. I know you had a busy day, so thanks for carving out some time. And the film is The Beach House. It's available on digital, video on demand, Blu-ray, and DVD on December 15th, I believe.
Yeah, December 15th on VOD, Blu-ray, and DVD.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
All right, take care.
Have a good one.
That was Jeffrey A. Brown, the co-writer and director of The Beach House. The Beach House is coming to digital, VOD, DVD, and Blu-ray on December 15th, so you can check it out then. I think it's also streaming on Shudder, so if you have that, you can also check it out there. It's a really interesting film and kind of makes you both wish for the beach, but also reminds you maybe it's not the best time to go outside. If you liked this interview, please like and subscribe to this channel. It helps me out a lot and makes sure all my new interviews go straight to you. And as always, please go to watcherpass.com for all your movie reviews, interviews, and recommendations. Thank you.